Oh, folks, I got an email here, comment. Some people say, oh, why bother with these guys? Well, you got to, you know. And I don't know if he's describing himself, but he's calling himself malingering faker. Or fakers, I guess. Maybe there's a few of them wrote this. And what does G's mean? Anyways, enough of that idiot. He's looked at one video. I went to his site and he's looked at one video, period. So he's an authority. Like I said, stupidity and ignorance. We'll find out maybe what he is. But my file came back from the lawyer finally after 3 months. And apparently my doctor, he told me he was trying in 2005. He wrote them a letter, and of course Brock Taylor wrote him back. I didn't explain the injury properly, so of course they've made it a... This is back when I was diagnosed. So therefore it's now a legal matter and not a medical problem. It's right here. A medical review panel would not be able to render a decision on the board's responsibility for shoulder problems resulting from that claimed incident. But they had no problem years ago. But when I got my file, now they have a problem. How many of you got letters like this? Director of Board Services. They say I didn't have a traumatic incident originally. Well, you know, thing is I was working and I had an accident. I reported it the best I could. And the problem is the doctors have all agreed that either one of these incidences in that 10-day period could have definitely caused it. I've done a little research over there, and some of you should too also, is I found other people with the same injury, shoulder surgery they needed, hole in the rotator cuff. That was just one of the injuries I received, also my lower spine, lumbar. But that's another problem. But they can only pay you for one, I guess, compensate for one. But when you're asked to do something in a job site, like in a welding shop like Newtown Machine back then, medieval, the way they did things, and you'd go and do it, you weren't supposed to ask for help, you just went and did it. You know, a lot of you maybe understand where I'm coming from. You know, you don't want to be called a malingerer, so you go and do it, and if it takes 2 or 3 men normally to do that job, and you're expected to do it yourself, you do it. You know, they shouldn't be asking you to do things that they didn't think you should be able to handle safely. Well, the first thing was I was welding, straightening the arms on a front end loader. Just had the arms there, the assembly. And the floor was heaved and broken, and a lot of people remember that about that place in Saskatoon. And I had to drag it in from where the farmer dropped it off in the back and bring it in by myself and try and straighten one of the arms. It was overloaded. Anyways, it fell over on me. My left arm. You know, that's another thing. When I went to the formal appeal, it was my arm here or here. You know, this type of thing. You know, it's like asking somebody who broke their arm in a car accident, were they picking their ass or their nose when it happened? You know, stupid questions they ask you. It's anything to make it formal and sound like they have a basis for denying you. But they don't discuss that when you're there. They don't tell you why they're doing this. And the thing is, you know, you keep trying to work, at least I did. This has happened more than once. I've got proof of that I've been injured and kept working. And never put in the claim. But this time, it got to the point I couldn't keep working. And I was given the job to cut off an inch off a big malleable cast, piece of malleable cast. Again, it was at the back, and I had to drag it in. And it was shaped funny, and it twisted, and already I'm weak, you know, from the first original accident, and that fell over on me. Well, what do? You go to the doctor, and McKee, he wants to know what happened the day of the accident. He doesn't care what happened 2 weeks ago or a month ago or a week ago. He wants to know what happened the day you put in the claim. Well, you tell him both, but he only writes down the one, and then you're held responsible for that. But the fact is that either one of them would have caused it. The thing is, you have a symptom. It's like a truck driver I know who was in an accident. He woke up in the hospital. The doctor didn't say what exactly happened or we're going to get out of here. He wanted to know what his symptoms were. A responsible doctor. I talked to the guy. He said, well, they never told him to get out if he couldn't remember exactly, because he didn't know what happened. He had an accident with his truck, a semi on the highway, and he rolled it, and he doesn't know where his arm was or his head was or anything, you know. So they can't really use that, but they do whatever they can do to see you don't get compensated. And as far as the money over the years, that isn't a hell of a lot of money when you look at some of these corporate pricks who are collecting millions every year, tens of millions, some of them, right here in Saskatchewan, in bonuses. These are the people who are responsible for denying a lot of injured workers their claims. Yet we're not entitled to a lifetime of compensation if we're going to get trod on steadily. And like this idiot, you know, and the thing is, you got to mention it, because a lot of people think like this guy does. You know, he's 38 years old, and he thinks we're all just lazy, or, well, he mentions us. So, you know, hell, he put it on my site, so maybe he's just talking about me. He doesn't know me from Adam. I guarantee a guy like to write something like this, even when I was healthy and working, I would never have said something like that about somebody without knowing, you know. So he's got an axe to grind with something, about something. And maybe he should get back to his Workers' Compensation Board office desk and you just get back to work. Or maybe another guy who won't put his picture on there. Maybe Mummy, you know, told him to go out and get a job, so now he's mad. I have no idea. Get a job, get a life, get a job, get a life, quit whining. No. Sorry. Anyways, have a good one.